it's not about the actions. It's about the system that drives the action. Most of the time we are judging action as karma. Please understand that action is an outcome of the system. Work on the system.
What's the proof that this concept is right? According to me, we are coming up with the concept just to explain things.
Namaste. My name is Bidhan. 2012 is when I chanced upon Upanishads, and it had a profound impact on my life. Since then, I have dreamt to bring the key aspects of Upanishads in a manner which is simple, relatable, and implementable in our daily lives. So here we are with a set of videos to make spirituality simple.
How do prayers or spiritual sadhana, how does this impact karma?
Okay. So, again, I'm going to reiterate that karma is not about actions. Karma is about the system which drives my actions. You change the system, you change the actions, you change the outcomes.
Correct.
If you only focus on actions and you don't change the system, then the outcomes will not change for you, because the external world is nothing but it is a resonance with your internal world, and your internal world is nothing but your karma, your Adṛṣṭa Phalas. You see that? So let's come to the actions that you're talking about. You're talking about actions like prayers, sadhana, spirituality, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now let us see how these actions in itself can create further karma, or it can help you go beyond karma. Same actions. What matters is what is the attitude behind these actions. If you are praying, and if you are praying to God saying that take care of me, or get me a job, or help me come out of this problem, tomorrow if those things doesn't happen, then your faith on God will go away. It isn't another transaction. So earlier we were transacting with the human beings, now we are transacting with God. So that won't work. Similarly, if we are following spirituality, and spirituality becomes a new statement that, hey, I'm a spiritual person, I'm a good person. So you are only feeding into your ego even more. So the same prayers and spirituality can put you a lot more into karmic entanglement.
Right.
You see this? But the same way, if the puja is done with an idea of exploring and finding divinity within yourself, and the divinity which exists outside, it suddenly changes your perspective. You're no longer negotiating, you are in the path of finding, going within.
Right.
If you look at spirituality, if spirituality helps you to become a lot more self-aware, it helps you to go within rather than trying to start judging people right and wrong, right? That kind of starts building it sort of starts rewiring your karmic pattern.
Right.
If you start doing japa in the right way, japa has the ability to rewire your subconscious patterns. It is called chitta shuddhi. I'm not getting into the details of what is chitta and what is shuddhi. In a very simplistic manner, if japa is done in a right way, it has the ability to rewire your patterns. And therefore they say it can burn your karma. What do you mean by it? It simply means it is rewiring the system that drives your actions, your thoughts, right? If you can rewire that, nothing like it. So all these actions, whether it is japa, whether it is puja, whether it is spirituality, self-awareness, they are a wonderful thing. We have to just be a little bit aware in terms of why we are doing it. And it can really benefit a lot.
Right. I mean, that's such a nice way of looking at it. Yes, I can pray, I can do the puja, but if the attitude is it's not with the right attitude, then it's just going to add to my karma.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So rather than having it as a transactional thing where, you tend to sort of believe in God only when things happen, what you ask for happens. And if it doesn't happen, then we sort of say, you start cursing God, I think. Rather than having it transactional like that, when you have the right attitude towards it, then you are saying that even prayer and mantra japa, all of this has the capacity to sort of rewire my inner being.
Exactly. And it affects your karma directly.
So what matters is the attitude.
Attitude, because attitude is basically working right at your karmic level.
Mm.
So the point again I'm making, it's not about the actions. It's about the system that drives the action. Most of the time we are judging action as karma. Please understand that action is an outcome of the system. Work on the system,
Right.
not only on the action. Your action should help you cleanse your system, rewire your system. That is where it's going to really help.
Right.
Karma is all about that.
Beautiful. I think that's a lovely way of looking at it. All right. Moving on to the next comment. If only all the corrupt people of India that are doing corruption were to see the hidden world of karma, maybe they would stop doing corrupt things, because right now maybe they're doing it because they don't understand Adṛṣṭa Phala.
Maybe. I can't comment on that. Sometimes I feel to see the world of Adṛṣṭa Phala or the patterns, our mental patterns, we need certain amount of self-awareness. And if we have certain level of self-awareness, we'll not be engaging in corruption in the first place.
That's a vicious cycle.
That's a vicious cycle that we get into. But yes, what is important again here is that if we sometimes think that I engage in activity which is not right, and let me go and make some donation somewhere else, let's go and make some temple somewhere else, let's do some punyam. So this will somewhere get offset. Again, this is coming from a misunderstanding that karma is about actions. Right? That I may have engaged in not so good actions, and therefore let me do some good actions, and therefore we can balance, negate it. Which we did talk about it. It doesn't work that way. Because every action that you do creates a mental impression. That is your Adṛṣṭa Phala. And that mental impression will become your vasana. That becomes your habit. That becomes your tendency. And that tendency pushes you to do the same thing in bigger and bigger magnitude till the time you find yourself into bigger problems.
Right.
Right? So instead of trying to try and say that I need to do good karmas to offset the bad karmas, it's important to look within and see what kind of a tendencies I am creating by doing my actions. And if that kind of a self-awareness increases, then it's very difficult to do things which are not right.
Right.
It's you can't do it because you become so self-aware, you will be able to see your tendencies. It's very difficult then to engage in things which is going to put you in problems in the future. And that's the beauty of karma, once you become aware of the system, once you became aware of your karma.
Right. So if we take an example of, let's say, somebody who is corrupt.
Right.
Even if we talk about like law, let's not talk about moral. We are talking about law.
Right.
Right. So then what is happening there? Because Adṛṣṭa Phala is probably what they are gaining immediately, which the direct outcome, right? But what could be the Adṛṣṭa Phala there?
There can be two Adṛṣṭa Phalas over there. That okay, the Adṛṣṭa Phala is that person is becoming wealthier and leading a better lifestyle. Adṛṣṭa Phala can be at multiple levels. One, you are becoming very comfortable by breaking laws, and you will finally find yourself in situations, if not now, at some point of time later, that will put you in problems. That's the first thing. The second Adṛṣṭa Phala will be that there are people in your house who sees that my parents are corrupt and they are comfortable with corruption. The kids may actually pick up those tendencies and they follow the same path, which they may find themselves into problems, and you are not going to be very happy looking at your kids doing things which they should not be doing. Third could be is that you yourself will feel very uncomfortable. You'll be scared all the time. You'll not be having a peaceful sleep. You may attract people of similar tendencies. You may find yourself into not so great companies. So there are multiple ways by which things can really go wrong. It's not only about what will happen in the future. It can start happening right now. You may start feeling disturbed. You may start feeling not so great about You may be scared most of the time.
Right.
You really don't know.
So it is, even though the external world or the outside people cannot see the Adṛṣṭa Phala,
Yes.
there are outcomes.
There are outcomes which will happen now, which will happen later, and in ways that you may not even imagine the way it can come back.
Right. I think that answers our question. All right, let's move on to the next one. Here we've just clubbed a couple of comments because they were similar. I wanted to ask it together. How to know what change should we bring in our mind to get this desired change in the outer world? Because like we just spoke about also, you said that our inner world has the capacity to change the outer world.
Right.
So what change do we need to bring to get this kind of desired change? For example, no one should be cheated, even if they are unprepared. And they also say, I am in a situation always of feeling that I am earning less money. So how to come out of this perception and come out of this situation?
Right.
So this was one comment. Similar comment, can you please talk and give more examples and solutions about what you spoke about in the previous episode, which is the same thing. We attract similar life situations based on the vasana that we carry inside us until we notice it and do something about it.
Yes. Valid, very valid point. The point that we have discussed is that because of our karma, because of the Adṛṣṭa Phala, we create certain tendencies, we create certain inner world.
Right.
And the external world is nothing but the resonance or the reflection of my inner world. So if we do not change our inner world, and if we try changing the external world, it will not happen. You can change the people, but similar kind of people or similar kind of situation will keep on coming back again and again because your inner world has not changed.
Right.
And the external situation will keep on coming again and again. Why? Not because you are supposed to be punished, because you have to take the attention back to your inner world and do something about it. And the day you kind of take care of your inner world, the external world automatically changes. It rearranges itself.
You take the feedback.
Once the feedback is taken and resolved, those kind of problems will not happen again. Now, this is exactly how the entire concept of karma works. So the one question which was asked over here was that if I'm basically making less money, what do I need to do? So it's very difficult to directly answer the question because there are so many things which goes into the feelings that we have. Just to ask a simple thing, that if you feel that you are underpaid, the simple point is that you should negotiate and leave the job. But on the other hand, if you feel that that has always been the problem with you in all the jobs, and also outside of the job, you don't get enough relevance that you would actually ask for, then there's a pattern. And therefore, it's important to look
Within.
That why I am put into these situations again and again. And what you should do, as I said, I can't tell you what you should do. I cannot say do these 3 simple things that will make your life better. It doesn't work that way. You may need some amount of help, some amount of introspection. But yes, certain amount of meditation, japa, self-awareness certainly helps. But that's not the panacea. Because if you're finding yourself in a similar situation, because the universe wants you to kind of do something about your inner world, you have to change it. And you need help sometimes to do this.
Absolutely. And I think that's a key point. Sometimes we don't have all the answers. It's okay to ask for help.
Yes, we should.
And from my own personal experience, I would say just a simple practice of gratitude multiple times a day has really changed my patterns in what I can see. Like even if now, for example, in the comment she had mentioned, no one should cheat me.
Right.
Even if I can sort of change that or reword that to say like, I'm so thankful that I have so many people around that I can trust. Start looking for things that can validate what can go right also.
Oh yeah, that's important, because when you say that one should not be cheated when one is unprepared, that is the question that one has asked. And we generally have the tendency to hook on to things which has gone wrong. We have something called negativity bias, right? But the question that we have to also ask ourselves is that what has happened all the time, or I choose not to see things which has gone right in my life. Yes. Have I always been cheated, or there are multiple instances, a far more number of instances where universe has really taken care of me? But the way we are conditioned is that our attention will automatically go towards things which has gone wrong, not towards innumerable things, number of things which has gone right. And therefore what you're saying makes sense. So if you start practicing gratitude, you start taking attention towards things which has been going right, then what you're doing, you're rewiring.
Right.
You are straight away working at your karma, and you're moving from the belief that people cheat to the understanding that universe takes care.
Right. And I think in science we call that RAS,
Oh,
the
wow.
reticular articulating system, right? Where your brain also has a tendency to focus on what you are thinking about.
Right. That's interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
that's another way to, a practical thing that you can do to sort of
Do this. Yeah.
rewire.
Yes. Yes.
Nice. So let's move on to the next one. Again, I've combined a few. Now, it may seem like we have answered this in the previous episode, but I think the comment came much before that. I can see where you're going with the types of karma, like to explain why someone they may lose a child all of a sudden, or why someone may get a deadly disease all of a sudden, right? But what's the proof that this concept is right? According to me, we are coming up with the concept just to explain things. And I feel two basic principles in life: accept what you have and be present in the moment. If we do that, then we don't need any of these concepts. That was one comment. And a similar comment was again about the real world suffering, that natural disasters, genetic disorders, accidents, all of these show up in life and is just happen. So how do you explain these things?
Right. So I think this comment would have come before we released our episode on collective karma.
Yes.
Right. And I think we have had an entire episode on this, that it's very sad if we kind of say that you lost your child or you're going through pain, it's because of your karma. It's sort of trying to invoke guilt in a person. It's never like that only, right? Karma is far more complex the way we understand. And Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita has very clearly said that it's far more complicated than what it meets the eye. So because, look, it feels that I am separate from you because of ahankara.
The I.
The I-ness. If you remove this I-ness, then you become the part of entire system, isn't it? There is a karma which is happening at a system level, which is far more complex. Things happen. You can't even make out why it happens, but it is happening, and it is not random. It is happening. And sometimes you find yourself in the middle of a storm. Now, why you find yourself in the middle of a storm? Did your karma interact with the universal karma? And there are too many complexities involved over there. But what is important for us to understand here is that when we are talking about law of karma, specifically when people talk about prarabdha, it is not to invoke guilt in you, that you would have done something wrong and therefore you are being punished, because karma is not a system of punishment. It is about a system of acceptance, that after a point of time, stop asking why me. Because all these things are basically helping you understand that there are things that you have done and there are things which is happening, which is making you find yourself in a specific situation. So instead of sitting and asking why me, why is universe against me, why this is happening, you say, okay, this is what has happened. From here, what do I do now? And that is where the kriyamana karma comes into picture.
Right.
Do you see this? And whatever the comment is right, that if you can accept the present moment without any challenges, saying, okay, this is what has happened, you honestly don't need the law of karma, specifically the concepts of prarabdha or sanchita. You don't need it if you are able to accept the present moment as it is.
Right.
See, if you see, essentially the law of karma simply says that every action that you do will have an outcome at a direct level, and at an indirect level is by creating mental patterns. Understand, that is enough. The current situation that you are in, is it because of statistical probability? Is it because of universal karma? Is it because of my karma? All of it is only going to help you accept the current moment. If you are unable to accept the present moment, the action that you take is not going to release you from the challenges that you are in right now.
Right.
Without acceptance, the actions that you take will not release you. It will only bind you. That is what karma says. And sanchita and prarabdha, what we have spoken about, is only for you to accept the current moment without questioning it too much, but asking yourself, what can I do wrong? So I am in complete agreement with this.
Right. So, like the viewer says, if I can just accept the moment,
Yeah.
and sort of also be in the moment, be very present in the moment, then I don't really need to question things about prarabdha.
You don't need to, honestly.
Right.
But a lot of them can't. Sometimes
And it's not easy.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, ये तो प्रभु की इच्छा थी, इसीलिए ऐसा हुआ. Yeah, this was, I would have done something and therefore I'm. So
But
people,
that fatalistic thing is not the right.
No.
Yeah.
Because it's not about fatalism, it's about acceptance. And because if it is fatalism, one will always say that there is no Adṛṣṭa Phala. Right? So there is no fatalism here. They clearly says that, okay, in this moment, whatever action you do will create an outcome directly, but it also will create a mental impression, and that mental impression will become a seed for your future actions.
Right.
So look at and if you change your karma, or if you change your karmic patterns, if you change your tendencies, the life outside changes. So where is the question of fatalism? If it was fatalism, then nothing changes. Do you see this?
Yeah.
The law of karma clearly says that if you change,
You can change your inner wiring or your patterns self-consciously, like being aware of it and changing. Then you have the capacity to also change the outer.
The outer world automatically rearranges itself.
Right.
So where is fatalism? There's no fatalism here. Fatalism comes only when you are driven by your subconscious patterns and you're not aware. Then you're driven by your system. You're not able to interfere with your system at all.
Right. So accept, be aware, and then sort of see what next.
Yes.
Right. I think one line to sum the whole thing up.
Exactly. So your prarabdha and sanchita is more about acceptance.
Kriyamana
is more about
what
action,
to do.
conscious action.
Yeah. Right.
You don't need to have prarabdha and sanchita if you want, because if you are able to accept, you just focus on kriyamana karma, that how do I do my action with a lot of self-awareness.
Right.
Enough.
Wow, I think that really answered the question that we were speaking about. Now it looks like I've taken a lot of your time, and it's really exceeded what I thought it would be, because I do have many more questions.
Right.
What I'll do is we'll take it up in the next session.
So good. Let's pick it up in our next session. And to our viewers, if you are enjoying these conversations and if you would like to know a lot more about Upanishads in the present context, please put your details, which is there in the link, which is in the description below. And whenever we are coming with our workshops, we will reach out to you. And let's see how much you enjoy the workshops. We have conducted around quite a few of them, and people have really liked it.
And if you like today's conversation, especially about the question and answers, do share it with your friends. Leave your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel as well.
And in case if you have any questions, please go ahead and put it out there in the comments. We'll try and see if we can answer those as well. Thank you.